All right, welcome everybody to the RetroMagic 50th Celebration Information Night. I'm your host, Todd McCartney, part of the Lake Buena Vista Historical Society, and sitting with me this evening, Mr. Brian P. Miles, just right up there. How you doing, Brian? Poke.
Greetings and salutations to everybody here from the city of brotherly love.
That's right. And then down here, Mr. Hal Bowers. How are you doing tonight, Hal?
Aloha, everyone.
And you can point to JT maybe for me if you.
Oh, which way?
JT? No, you got to look down at JT. JT's looking
down.
up at you.
Oh, I don't. Okay,
there you go. It's
like
they're
looking at each other.
Raise the roof, JT.
Got it.
Oh man. So all right, welcome everybody. Well, gentlemen, this is a big night. We've been planning this for a while now, and I'm so excited to see that we've been putting all this stuff together for RetroMagic, and we have nothing short of a big night of announcements and exciting news this evening to get everybody ready for that April 24th event 2022. Right, Brian?
When's it going to be, Todd?
April 24th, 2022.
All right, Sunday.
Sunday.
Atco Raceway.
That's right, Raceway Park. So, all right, so great to see everybody on here. And Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you because I think I got to control this slideshow here tonight. So,
all right. Where do I guess I see the slideshow on our broadcast, right?
Exactly.
It'll see it.
Pop right up. So you tell me when you're ready.
Be a little bit of a 7-second delay, but yeah. So we're having RetroMagic. It's happening.
Is that virtual or in person?
It is in person.
That's right.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. It's all coming to you. You see that there on your screen.
I got the typo already. 2022. Sorry.
April 24th, 2021. You guys missed it. It was 7 months ago. But
a recap.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to redo it on April 24th, 2022. It's still going to be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be past, I don't know if we're past daylight savings time by that point, but hopefully. In Walt Disney World, at the Contemporary Resort with an asterisk, Fantasia Ballroom. And the reason for the asterisk is because of the slowdown of everything at COVID, one of the things that has slowed down is the contracting process for events and such at Walt Disney World. So while we have the room, and we know we have the room, we're still going through the whole process with the legal people to sign the contracts and everything, but it's happening. It's going to be there. If you show up in Orlando, Florida that weekend for our event, it's happening.
That's right.
All right.
Brian, you and I looked over this slide like 9 times today and nobody caught the date. So I apologize.
I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a man of the sea, and I'm not a numbers guy.
So, all right. You ready for the next slide, sir?
That joke, by the way, was entirely for Ariel and Michelle. And I apparently said that once on a podcast, that I am not a man of the sea, when we were arguing about port and starboard or something like that. And anyway, there you are.
All right.
So what's up next? What do we got?
Room discounts.
What's the next bit of information for folks? So we got some discounts. Yes. Yeah. The first question we always get asked, are there going to be room discounts? Yes, there are. We have a limited number of discounted rooms that we've arranged this time at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. You can stay in a standard room or in the Grand Destino Tower that they built a few years back, or Disney's All-Star Music Resort. So if you're booking to come that weekend, the way you get those rates is you email our partner, Ashley Suit, at Believe Vacations. Her contact info is there, and it's going to be on the info page that we give you at the end of this lovely little Oscar-style rollout.
That's right. In fact, we have a big way to reveal this. We do, Brian, don't we?
Do we?
Well, you asked for it.
I'm with you.
And I tried to provide, so here we go.
All right.
So we have the VIPs, and I've got a little background music in the background here while people talk. So when you're ready, Brian, we'll go on to the first one.
All right. I'm ready.
Here we go.
All right. Number 1, Disney legend. We can't have an event without him anymore. Bob Gurr. Bob Gurr just turned 90, right?
Yes.
I think he just celebrated birthday number 90. And I know he's more active than I am. And he's got I'm half his age. He gets around and does more than I do. So, but Bob Gurr has been, we've been fortunate to have him for a bunch of our events. Him and his red shoes will be there with us. We're doing something a little different with him this time. We're not going to explain every panel and everything that we have planned, but one of the things that we're going to have here is his particular presentation. Instead of us sitting up there and asking Bob the 1,000 questions everyone's already asked him about the Skyway and about the monorails and building a fires truck for Walt and all those things. We're actually going to do a Q&A where you guys in the audience ask him the questions.
I love this.
Yeah. Well, that's good, JT, because you're going to be in the Phil Donahue role with the mic running around.
This is great. I think it's so cool because if you come, you have the chance to possibly ask Bob Gurr a question, like your question. So start thinking now. Yeah, I actually saw him do this at Google with Google employees, and I said, "Well, this is the thing that we should do." Because we've all talked to Bob. I mean, Bob's very generous with his time. I don't think that we could come up with a new stack of questions to ask him, but we know that all of you can. So we want to give you that opportunity, and you're going to have that opportunity with Disney legend Bob Gurr. And I'm going to say this outright: as long as he's willing to come, we're going to have Bob Gurr at every one of our events until Bob Gurr doesn't want to come or can't come anymore.
That's
so
right.
Come on and see Bob Gurr.
And same with the next gentleman as well.
Our next gentleman, absolutely. We couldn't do an event without him. Disney legend Tom Nabby. Tom is, those of you who've met him in the past, he's just the best. He's so kind, and he loves talking about not only his years at Disneyland with Walt Disney, but then the entirety of Walt Disney World's history. He was here for the opening guy on the monorail and a billion other jobs. We've heard a lot of his stories too. So what Tom is doing is Tom is helping us put together a panel of folks who, like him, came to Florida or were in Florida for the building and opening of Walt Disney World. And they're going to be up there, a handful of them, leading a discussion about those, final months getting the place opened and working with Roy and Card Walker and Don Tatum and Dick Nunes and that whole team. And there's going to be some folks that you may have seen at D23 this past weekend that'll be part of that panel, and some folks that you've never met before, but who've got 50 plus years under their belts involved with the Walt Disney World Resort. So we're excited to have Tom back with us.
Yep. All right.
And who else is boarding the ship with us, Todd?
We do have
cruise director Todd. These are Love Boat intros, by the way. If you've never seen the Love Boat, they show you all the guest stars of the week in their little porthole. And that's how we've decided to do this, because Todd and I are Love Boat aficionados.
Exactly. Every Monday or we share what the story was, and there was not one yesterday, Brian.
I didn't check my TiVo yet.
No,
so I don't know
I watched one from our archive, so it was interesting. Leslie Nielsen and Eva Gabor were on it, so it was great. All right, let's move on to our next guest.
Yes. All right. Julie Swanson. Now, let me tell you about Julie Swanson. Julie's parents, her father was animator Jules Swanson, who worked on everything from Peter Pan to the Aristocats, long history with the Disney company. Her mother worked there as well. So naturally, as she got older, she began working for the Disney company. Julie, so Peggy Ferris, who we'll talk about in a bit, one of the things that was mentioned at the D23 event this past weekend is that there's a book coming out next year on women in Imagineering and women who've worked in Imagineering over history. There's 13 women will be featured in that book. We have so far 2 of them coming to join us for this event. Julie is one of them, and Julie worked on the World of Disney store, Blizzard Beach. Good God, there's so many different things.
Wonders of Life.
Wonders of Life.
Yeah. She did the late 90s logo for Discovery Island.
Yeah.
And just a whole bunch of stuff. Super talented artist, fantastic designer. And yeah, I'm really pleased we'll be able to kind of get to introduce her body of work to people, because she probably did a lot of stuff that you just didn't know who did it.
Yeah, she had a lot from California. Being based in California, she had a lot of work she did here in Florida. So it's going to be great to bring her in. She's not someone who's done a lot of I don't know if she's done any East Coast events, but we're excited to have her. So Julie Swanson will be there. But that's not it.
No, nope.
Our cruise is just getting started here.
That's right. We got to continue to board.
Yes. So if you watched, thank you everybody who tagged me and tweeted at me when Marcy Carricker Smothers mentioned me yesterday, talking about her cookbook on Walt Disney World famous foods, and during her hand witch segment, she shouted out to me. Marcy was already booked as a guest for Retro Magic, so this was not a late addition just because she said my name. As she told the story yesterday, we've been talking for a while. In fact, I know Joe Lanza is in the chat. There he is in the chat tonight. Marcy reached out to us last spring in the height of the surge of the pandemic, and needed some of the artwork for the hand witch that we had on our site, but she needed it in high res. I said, hey, we can help you out. Let me chat with the fella who has the artwork. Joe Lanza is the guy who had the artwork. In fact, he wore a hand witch poster shirt to our Retro Magic 2019 event. And Joe's wife was scheduled to deliver a baby the next day, but he managed to dig out the archives, do a high-res scans of both images. That's what appears in the book, and that's what they had projected up on the screen yesterday at Destination D was our artwork. So, but Marcy and I have been bosom buddies now for a year, chatting back and forth, because Walt Disney World food is both of our things. So she was an early invitee in acceptance. She's been on our list for like 6 months. She's been on the guest roster here. So right. We are very excited to have Marcy come. She's not only going to come and talk a little bit about her work, but she's going to help me host a couple of food related panels, which we'll be getting to.
And maybe Joe, do you think he wore a shirt last time? If we made him a full size hand witch, could he be a walk around hand witch? And could we do that? Could we
just stick with the shirt?
If they could have that ticket guy be a walk around character.
Yeah, the fast pass or ticket pass.
How much would it cost us to get one of the furry people to make us a hand witch meet and greet costume?
We might be able to work that, because I think a hand witch walk around character would be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be a eat and greet.
Joe's saying in the chat he would absolutely do that. So right. we do promise you later unique Handy the Hand Witch.
Handy the Hand Witch. And like I said, it will be an eat and greet. You'll have to have your hand witch in hand.
I get it.
Yeah.
Or he serves them.
We're gonna have to have one of those like little placards next to "Please do not bite the mascot."
That's right.
Don't touch Handy.
All right, but
so,
wait,
yes.
there is more, right, Brian?
There is
a lot
so much more.
And we should.
You're not done. That's got to be it.
We should preface too that this list, as complete as it is now, we are working on others that we may announce later.
There are outstanding invitations that we are still trying to add some folks to this, just to blow your minds completely. But
exactly.
Roll that beautiful bean footage, Todd.
All right.
Who's our next our next person here? Well. Yes, that was a little anticlimactic. Yes, Peggy Ferris. I was so excited when I talked to Peggy Ferris 2 years ago on the Hand Witch interview that we played at Retro Magic. And she was so, just her presentation, everything that she knew. I said, hey, we're going to do another one of these events next. At that time, it was going to be next year for the 50th. We were doing it in 2021. And I said, I absolutely want you to be a guest. And, she hadn't really done East Coast events before. And she said, sure, I'd love to, send me information when the time comes. So she was actually our very, very first invitee like a year ago, and before we had to punt the event to the next year, when we were planning on doing this last year. And I will say, I thought D23 did a great job with some of their history panels. They did the kind of stuff that we would have done. But every time she was answering a question, I had like 5 follow-ups, but they would just move on to the next question. So I'm really excited for us to get the opportunity to get Peggy up there and talk not only about the Hand Witch, but about 50,000 other things that she's done related to Walt Disney World. And she is the other person featured in that Women in Imagineering book that is going to be part of this. So we're really excited to have her there.
All right, next up, Mr. Jerry Reese.
Oh boy,
this is a biggie.
Well,
what hasn't
any of you, if you did anything at Walt Disney World in the 90s, there's a good chance Jerry Reese had a hand in some of the fun that you had. We loved to, we started our conversations with him about Alien Encounter because that was his attraction. But how many things did this guy touch in the 90s?
Okay, so Cranium Command saved that show. He was basically the guy that could come in and save anything. So
yes.
he saved Cranium Command, of course, Alien Encounter. He did the Magic of Disney animation show with Robin Williams and Walter Cronkite.
Oh.
He's done so much, and even back in animation, Brave Little Toaster, he worked on that.
He was the director of Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, so phenomenally talented guy, writer, director, amazing fellow.
He's going to be there, like in person.
Yes.
That's great.
And let me tell you something. If you did not have coffee that day, Jerry will be the guy that like pumps you up. Like he's like Susan Powder running out to do an exercise show. Like he's a very animated guy, and we're really exciting to have him here.
Yep.
So
that's awesome.
All right.
Yes, Jerry Reese, Imagineering the 90s.
Next up, Mr. David Vermillion.
Dave Vermillion. Let's talk about Dave Vermillion. So how Dave Vermillion ended up on the radar screen is Peggy Ferris said to me, if you're a Handwich fellow, and this was before I became Handwich famous yesterday, she said, you really ought to talk to Dave Vermillion. Dave was the food. Dave worked for 48 years for Disney. He has had leadership positions in literally every single one of their theme parks around the world. Did a lot of work in Walt Disney World over the years, lives in Florida now, retired there. But Dave was food and beverage for the Magic Kingdom, for actually all Walt Disney World, when the Handwich was in development. He's the guy that they were working with on the ground who said this castle cone idea that they had come up with wouldn't work in the parks because it was so fragile, but the roll, we can do it in a roll kind of a way. And so he's the man that took the Handwich from the drawing board into the Handwich wagon that it was first in when they sold them in the parks before it ended up at quick service locations.
Brian,
but go ahead.
I was gonna say we should tell people this is not going to be retrowitch.com.
It is not.
There's Brian's trying to tell you the story of how the Handwich has brought so many other folks into the picture.
I mean, Dave opened Caribbean Beach Resort, and when I tell you he's had like 30, when Dick Nunes was talking about, those guys yesterday in his panel, he talked about you have those people who are always looking over the horizon for the next job, the next job, the next job. Dave had 48 years of them putting him in more important jobs and important places here and there and around the world. So he's going to be a great addition, and he's a fascinating guy to talk to.
All right.
You said retro witch.
Retro witch, yes.
All
right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let Hal do this
Hal
one
has
because
this is his crush.
This was at the top of like our want list for this event. And when he said yes, I don't know, Hal, you go ahed and tell the story.
And don't spill all the beams because we learned some things that he's gonna have to tell us.
Yeah.
So how I got into this, and I will try to hold back from gushing when I have him on stage with me. I mean, this is the guy that I think was partially responsible for me actually getting into my livelihood in my profession. He was the graphic designer who worked for Disney at the time of Epcot's development, and he created all of the logos for all of the pavilions that we saw. So Spaceship Earth and World of Motion and Imagination, that whole logo set, that was all Norm. But the other thing that he's famous for is doing the Firebird, that is the Thunder Chicken that's on top of the Trans Am. So he had a career with, I guess, GM before that, and then went in and got hired by Disney to do all those logos, and continued to work for them afterwards, doing some other posters and things. So I'm very excited to be able to bring a presentation with him, and we'll find out about his creative process and how he did that stuff. And I remember there was an article a few years ago where he said he did like 100 logos or something for Epcot until they got to the one that they actually picked. So this is going to be great.
We when we approached him, we sent him a letter, because that was the best way to contact him. We literally sent a letter to his home saying, hey, here's what's going on. And he, it takes a couple weeks, you hear back. I remember I left work on a Friday afternoon and I was driving to the pool, and Todd texted me an email he got from Norm that said, hey, I'd love to do this. And I said, all right. I said, I'm on my way out. This is amazing. And I was driving to the pool and I said, I have to call Hal. And like every other person of our age, we don't call each other on the telephone unless like somebody died or something terrible happened. So it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hal's phone rings. It's me. And he answers and he's like, hello? Like, what's going on? And I told him, and like, there was just this like 5 seconds of silence on the other end of the phone. And then he's like, get out of here. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it was like, there was an emotional moment. It was just so exciting. And we're so very excited to bring him to Florida.
Yeah. A gentleman that has done literally no Disney things, no events, as far as I know.
No.
So this is going to be
and was
treat.
a little surprised that we were interested in talking to him about it. But as Todd alluded to, he also let us know that there's a couple of other iconic things he was involved in that he's gotten no credit for.
Oh yeah,
that we'll be able to reveal at RetroMagic. And
yeah,
we're really
there's a
excited.
big one that we will not drop until the day of the event, because Jaws will drop.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, moving on, Brian.
All right, we're not done, guys.
We're not done.
We're not done.
Are. Let me see.
We should be, but we're not.
By my numbers, yeah, we got a couple more to go. Here we go, Mr. Pitts.
All right, now let's get into it. In 1987, Walt Disney World sent a team of its culinary experts, its chefs, to the Culinary Olympics, the International Culinary Olympics. There are stories galore that surround this. I told you we'd be talking about food. I told you that Marcy would be helping me talk about food. This is some of what we're going to help with. So we are reassembling some of that 1987 team that went to the Culinary Olympics. And they brought back a host of medals when they weren't expected to do anything. Disney rightfully promoted it. There are so many aspects to this story that is interesting to you. Ryman Pitts, who is the current owner and chef of La Coq au Vin in Orlando. So if you live down there near the parks, make a reservation to go to Coq au Vin. It's a great old restaurant that's there. He's the executive chef and the owner. He still makes terrific food. I had dinner there back in June. But the whole story of the Culinary Olympics, there's Dick Nunes aspects to it, which are terrific to hear and funny. But Ryman particularly, and we'll talk about a few of the chefs that are going to be there. Ryman Pitts was started working in the Village in the 1970s. He held executive chef positions all over the resorts, but he was the executive chef in charge of opening Disney MGM Studios. So the Cobb salad, the Derby hat dessert, grapefruit cake, all of these, he has stories about the creation of those recipes, working with the folks from the Brown Derby, and bringing that park online. He held that position for several years. So if you love early Disney MGM Studios, 50s Primetime Cafe, all that stuff, this is the guy. This is the guy you're going to want to talk to. And he's got a million other stories from in between, because he was working at Epcot Center and World Showcase in the 1980s. And he's got as you would expect a great foreign chef to have. He's got a great accent, and it enhances the story delivery.
There you go. Next one up for that, Brian?
Next one up. He's a little bit of an all-star with us.
That's right.
A little bit of an all-star. So Keith Keogh. Keith Keogh actually appeared at RetroMagic 2019. Keith Keogh didn't know that he appeared at RetroMagic 2019 because we used a video clip of his from 1995.
Keith, I've been dying to know. What is?
He was the leader of that
a hand witch?
Culinary Olympics team.
It's a sub kind of roll that instead of being served in a long fashion, sandwich fashion, the bread is hollowed out so that you can stuff the meats inside and eat it actually like a cone.
He was explaining what the handwich was. So yes, it all does tie back a bit to that. But Keith went on to a storied career after Disney when he was done, but he was a big part of what went on in food and beverage in the 80s and 90s and in the resort. And he will be part of that panel of chefs talking about some of the creations, some of the things that you love today, these guys created. And we have another one. The next guy, excuse me, created two things that are very, very famous. So Johnny Rivers was the executive chef for the resort, the entire resort, for a long period of time. He created something called stuffed French toast, which has eventually morphed into what we know today as Tonga toasts. So Johnny Rivers is the creator of Tonga toast. He's the man that made it happen. He also created the recipe for what was famous originally at the Liberty Tree Tavern. There was an English walnut bread that was served for years with apple butter and honey butter. My assumption as to why it's not served anymore is allergy reasons. But yes, Johnny Rivers will be coming, and he was also part of that Culinary Olympics team that was very successful in 1987. Incidentally, they started sending people every year to the Culinary Olympics. So you're going to get, we always talk about how the food shows end up being a lot more interesting than people think. These food panels are going to be the ones that you leave there talking about.
And Brian, we have a request coming in from a lot of people. They are asking us to create plastic bibs, and they can tie them on for all the food talk and what we're going to be serving. So, so we might have to invest in some bibs. We did napkins in the bathroom last time. It's bibs on the table this time. So
there you go. I like that.
All right. We're not done yet.
We are not done yet.
Not done yet. We have another repeat guest here, taking on a slightly different role this time. He's going to be helping out with another panel.
Jim.
Yes. So Jim Sarno, who was a big hit 2 years ago when he came to talk about the land fountain that he designed and built with Walt Paraguay, who also modeled the Smart One robot. And we've learned over the years talking to him, he's got 100 other things that he had his hands in. He worked closely with Julie Swanson, who we mentioned earlier as one of our guests, and obviously Harriet Burns and others. So I actually, when I approached him, I said, listen, he was so close to Harriet Burns. I said, hey, would you be willing to come back and, talk about your relationship with Harriet and some of the other women in Imagineering, so that the Women in Imagineering panel isn't just women up there talking about it, but some of the men talking about some of the great women that they worked with that aren't with us anymore. And so Jim is coming back to help us talk about Harriet and some of his work and all of the other stuff that he's had his hand in. And he's just a super nice fellow. Yep. So
I spoke with him the other day. He is super excited, cannot wait to come back and see everybody, and super looking forward to it. So his flights are booked. He's coming. So it's great. All right. We got one more, Brian.
One more so far.
So far. Right. Asterisk on
so
this.
Far.
There are more invitations out there.
So our friend Ted Linhart. Ted Linhart has he's led a couple of episodes for us over the years as a guest. But Ted has DisneyDocs.net. Ted has been using his personal funds to preserve some of the most important and rarest documents related to Disney theme parks in history. And Ted will be coming to the event and bringing some of the rarest and most valuable and interesting documents to display as we would display the Hope Diamond. He's got his own little, we're going to have little protective glass and things like that for his stuff to be displayed.
Everything's going to have to be in like a humidor, like the temperature controlled and everything.
Them uniform guards and everything, and it'll be something.
If you want to make out a donation so we can handle the brink security, just let us know. So.
Or if you're a security expert,
let us know. We could take that.
Airport pickup, sure.
There we go. So that rounds out the attendees for RetroMagic 50. And
I do want to say, while we didn't put her in a porthole, I want to tell everybody Tammy Tucky's coming back.
Yes,
and Tammy's coming back this time to help us with some of our hosting duties and helping run the show smoothly. I know she's going to be on stage helping moderate with Jerry Reese, and we're working on a couple of other big names, right? Like we have a couple of.
Tammy's helping us on a few that are,
yeah.
I that's all I want to say. And if those people come, we'll certainly work to make the announcement exciting and special.
Hal and JT are like, who are they talking?
Yeah, they have no idea.
You guys will find out
exactly.
When you need to know.
Just like there was something we did before. Hal's like, I have no idea what this is, and
I think it's when we did the fountain.
It was the fountain. Yeah, you had never seen it. Yeah, so all right. So Brian, we got to tell them, and I think we just found out that some people already broke our code and figured out how to get tickets, because I saw some ticket orders fly through as we were talking here. So yeah. So let's he's not coming, sorry. We're working on getting Mr. Eggs, but not yet.
Mr. Eggs.
But let's talk about the Lake Buena Vista Village that you got set up.
Lake Buena Vista Village. So we'll have our designated area. The room will be a little bigger this time, and we'll have some what I'm calling the Lake Buena Vista Village, where we'll have the rare artifacts, souvenirs, and photos on display. Some of Ted Linhart's unique documents there under Ted's lock and key. That'll be the area where you'll meet and greet our VIP guests and have some special photo opportunities. And apparently now we're making a Handwich walk around character for you to have a meet and greet with, if I'm following the chat correctly.
Exactly. We've also obtained a number of different artifacts that we just got one in recently that Brian, and I shared it with Brian. He's like, we need to have that, because I don't think anybody has ever seen it. And we have a handful of different things like shopping bags and other things that we're going to bring down with us. Maybe we'll do a little quick thing called Rare Finds, so you know what you're looking at in the back. But we're also going to bring some of those rare things with us so you can see them. We can't touch and feel everything. But and also, gentlemen, I might bring the mini mover, the mini people mover model I'm working on. I might bring down the mini mover. So
people who follow Todd on Twitter may have seen
all
him,
12 people.
May have seen him at WDWMS. May have followed him and seen him out there doing the building this miniature people mover. I was disappointed when I found that it wasn't going to actually move. I thought it was going to be a working one.
Well, for the right price, he might accept a donation and sell it so he doesn't have to carry it home.
That's right.
Jason says he and Scuba Jim are already working on the Handwich mascot now. This is what hell hath we unleashed.
And people are asking me to bring the projector to spool it up and get it ready. So
sure, we need a demonstration of how you thread a projector.
Hey, what? I would bring it, and I'll close off a little salon and go in there and play movies. I don't care. I'd love to do that. So people want to see how it works. JT's laughing. He's like, "Oh, just give me a VCR any day." So, all right.
If it sells a ticket, that's fine.
There we go. There we go. All right. So, Brian, how can they get there? How can they come? What is the ticket options? Here they are.
First and foremost, you'll go to RetroMagic.org, and tickets are available right now. You can do that right now. Yep. You can do it when we're done.
No pre-order. Just go do it.
No pre-order, no wait, no launch period. Just go there and start buying tickets. Your general admission's $125, but just like last time. You walk in the room, you pick a table that's not marked off, and grab your seat. We will absolutely have banquet rounds again. There will be a lunch again. I want to mention that we will do the lunch again. I'm not going to get specific about what's involved in the lunch, but as you all know, I'm probably not going to be able to get away with not having handwiches. So you can probably rest assured there will be handwiches as part of the lunch. Then we have the gold key plan, because Big Bad Todd used to go on the gold key plan that his grandparents would spring for. So the gold key plan, those would be designated tables close to the stage. I don't want to say front and center. I mean, obviously some of them will be front and center, but it'll be the front couple rows of tables will be the gold key plan. There'll be a limited number. The benefit of being in a ballroom that can open up is that you might get some additional space that we can add. But the gold key folks will be closed. And then there's the gold key table. If you're a big spender or you have a group of big spenders out there,
maybe
and
you just want a table to
reserve
yourself.
Table right up front,
right?
The closest possible tables we can sell you. Well, that's a gold key table.
Oh, that's one table. So one guy could buy that.
Right.
One guy could buy that table and say, "I don't want any of y'all around me."
I would love that.
So if you're looking for a social distancing option,
right,
and money's no object, you just buy your own table of 10 and sit at it.
And
by yourself.
we'll even put a plaid placemat down, because it's like a plaid, right? It's like you're buying your own tour.
I put Bob Gurr there too as well.
We could put mannequins. We could get those mannequins like the creepy Esther Williams.
That's right. With their
yes, mannequins that they had at D23. We could get a bunch of them, and go ahead and do that. So,
Footlight Parade.
But it goes without saying there are a limited number of the gold key ones. At a certain point, we'll see how many tickets of those are sold, and then it's just going to be cut off. So if you're thinking, I don't know if I want to spend the money on being closed, or then, now's the time to make that decision.
Right.
So I can't tell you when that's going to cut off, because there's a limited time magic.
That's
what
right.
We'll call it.
Yes.
Questions, comments? Do we have any more slides that we have to go through?
Somebody asked, and I mean, that's really one of the only questions I've seen that's valid. Are the four of us going to be doing anything, like as far as like speaking or anything of that nature?
Probably.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to be on stage for each of these panels. We're not just setting these folks up there adrift and saying, "Here, big,"
yes."
In terms of what I did last time, I do have a little bit of I did a little vignette on Nixon and on the Handwich, and so I have a couple of things in mind. Yep. One of the things that I'm going to talk about here, as a little aside, a little Reader's Digest filler, will be the first president ever to visit Walt Disney World was not Richard Nixon.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And I will reveal who that president was and when at RetroMagic 50.
Next question, which I've been asking, is there anything
I want to
Saturday
add
night?
to that. I want to add to that, JT. Hold on one sec. So
go ahead.
Yeah, so I mentioned something called Rare Finds, where we could go through and talk about what we've got back there. I'd love to do a little vignette, hopefully on some films and some other really unique things, and kind of highlight the things we found over the years. And I think, how you and I have been working on a mystery, and I think it would be an appropriate time for you and I to go up there and show the clues that led us to a time frame of something that we've been working on.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I think that would be great to do as well. So yeah, so we've got a couple things planned, right? Yeah, and JT's looking forward to running down the aisle with the microphone, right? So
Sure. I'm going to wear my red shoes so I match Bob Gurr this time.
Yep. This is the second request now. Am I going to do a segment where I set up a projector live?
Maybe at lunch.
I might have to.
Private room, perhaps?
Exactly. All right, JT, the next question we got?
Brian or Todd or how, night before event. I know there's a lot in the air.
So at this time, there's no VIP or pre-night event on the schedule, because it's taken us so long to get to planning the main event. That's always a two-part thing. Get the big one scheduled, and then we talk about doing something a little more exclusive the night before, a fireworks show or something like that. We have a list of things we don't want to do, a list of things we do want to do. If there is, that'll come later. But right now there is nothing else scheduled. This is the Sunday event That's what it's going to be. And once this is all set and settled, maybe we'll look at doing something else that weekend. I mean, there are a couple of things that we're trying to work on for enhancements to this function over the weekend. But right now we're focused on the big one. Right. So, but we do encourage everybody to come for the weekend, because we're going to be around. And I know last time there was some folks who said, hey, is there going to be an opportunity to like hang with you guys? And we really didn't have that chance last time, because we had the Saturday night event and then we had all day Sunday, and then we were exhausted. So we might be doing some kind of hang or something at some point outside the parks over the course of that weekend. We'll see. And
I think we should let people know, we're announcing and putting these tickets out 6 months ahead of time. Last time when we announced everything,
it's 5 months now, Todd.
5 months. Oh yeah, it is 5 months. Sorry. But last time when we did that, as Brian said, we had done all that VIP work. We were a little bit closer to the time. So this gives everybody a little more time to get their tickets, get themselves established with any local or, long distance travel plans, get themselves ready to be there. So yeah, we'll definitely announce any VIP stuff once we get that together.
Yeah, and if we don't do that, we will certainly come up with some sort of, previous evening to event where people can just hang out.
Yep.
And we, those of us who can show up, then we will, or we'll just hang together and have a good time someplace.
Right. And we are looking at bringing unique artifacts and stuff. It's not just like souvenirs that we've picked up or donated over the years or stuff like that, but we've got some conversations with folks about having some real rare park artifacts and things like that at this event. So, it's not just going to be a display table of souvenirs that have been in a closet for 30 years.
Although I have a lot of those.
We do, and you'll get to see them, and they're really neat.
That's right.
But we're going to make sure that there's some other really cool stuff there. Maybe even some stuff that you can bid on and buy from vendors that might have some rare artifacts that you might want to take home with you.
There's a question on there about tickets. Go to RetroMagic.org, and we'll be linking it off of our social media as well as Twitter soon, as well as the homepage. So you guys are the first to hear it, and so if anybody's having any problems getting there, just by all means, just email us at info@retrowdw.com.
And I will say, between the last one, this kind of happened too. Certain things fell into place as we got closer too that we didn't even announce. So it in these events work like that. Things pop up, people reach out to us. So this is all set in stone, right? Like, this isn't changing. So from here on out, there could be more things happening. So
it's only going to get better.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, I know we're not done. Like, I know there will be at least a few more guests added. So it's only going to get better.
That's right.
And tickets are already moving. I'm kind of blown away by this.
I hear the little noise in the background here as we're talking.
I hope so.
So Kendra wants to know if Nixon needs a ticket. Is he coming back, Brian?
Well, he resides with her, so she's welcome to bring him without a ticket.
There we go. He does not need
as long as he's folded up. You could probably get him in the door without a problem. When we had him after the last event, they took Richard Nixon on a walking tour of the Contemporary, and security eventually came over and said, would you mind folding that up? Yeah.
Didn't like that.
I apparently, it's
too soon.
But yeah, so that's good. We'll have Nixon back there ready for another photo op, and there'll be some other photo ops at this one too. I mean, we're certainly looking forward to bringing you some unique photo ops.
I just put a direct link to the information page into the chat too. So if you've been having any trouble finding it anywhere, put that in there. So that you can
Bob Rowan wants to put together a photo op for us with super fans who've been to every one of our ticketed events down there.
Ooh.
Bob, if you can pull that together, we'll be happy to pose.
That's a very limited number, because I would have to go back to the first Lake and Lagoon tour. So yes. I know a couple people in my head already that would qualify.
Perfect retro WW event group.
Exactly. That's like a perfect score, like perfect attendance award, right?
Aaron, possibility of a stream. We won't stream the event. Because sometimes some of the things presented as we had at the last one, there are things that folks did not want shared on the internet, but we always do record the sessions, and at a much later date, they're edited down and released for posterity, because we're recording history stories. That's what we do. That's what the nonprofit's about. So yes, eventually many of these panels will be released, but we have several from the last one that we weren't able to release. So
shout out to Art and all that crew too that edited all those videos, filmed it. That was nuts. That was like something I was just blown away to watch, just the filming of that whole thing the last time. So
Justin Tate nailed it. Yes, just in case Dick Nunes calls the archive staffs idiots again, like that's not the thing that you'd want live stream. Some people would, oh yes, the video of me singing the Love Boat theme on the inaugural Lake and Lagoon tour. I remember that.
That's right.
Mr. Eggs is back, Todd.
Mr. Eggs was up there. We were trying to get Mr. Eggs to make an appearance.
I didn't mean, I hit the wrong key there. Yeah, so we're going to see if we can bring Jim Lemus and Mr. Eggs. So he's on the potential list. So sorry.
Right. Didn't know. Hey guys, I have a question, because are we going to have cocktails available again on Sunday during the event?
So again, as I said, we're a little, I don't want to say behind, because we're not behind. Disney is behind on the details of everything we do. We will absolutely plan on having special Hal Bowers concocted 50th anniversary themed cocktails from Disney history available for those who want to partake. And I have committed to make sure, as opposed to last time when during our 15-minute breaks, everybody had to rush down to the barista in the lobby of the Contemporary. One of the biggest pieces of feedback we had from our last event was, could we have coffee available all day? So my plan is to have urns of coffee available alongside the water all day long for attendees, so that you can keep up with us, and you don't start flagging at 4:00 in the afternoon. Like you can just keep going over there and refilling the coffee. None of the fancy stuff, half cap lattes. That's a grande
coffee,
mocha, this and that. It's just coffee flavored.
No
coffee.
cream, no sugar. Brian's going full speed.
I don't know about cream and sugar. I would think that you
I would like a drink called the Gold Key. That's what I would like.
Oh,
you start thinking now.
Done like dinner.
How is there going to be a drink called Green Side Up?
We could do that. We could with Midori or something awful.
Yes.
And I think one thing besides the alcoholic drinks, I also want to make sure that we have non-alcoholic mocktail options as well, because I do think that is important, and that's something that we didn't do the last time. So I want to make sure that we rectify that.
We want you kids to feel like you're drinking. So yeah.
Gold Key package for the kids.
Gold Key.
Todd experienced it. Why can't they all?
Yep, I'm just
Any
watching,
other questions?
the tickets
We're
here.
watching.
They're selling. So if you're interested in the Gold Key seat, I recommend that you get going on that, because they are moving. So this is going out on the Twitter wire very soon, actually, right, Brian?
Twitters and socials, it's going.
It's going. So
dress code. Well, it's going to be obviously Bermuda shorts and jackets and ties, high socks, shoes, something in a nice patent leather would be good. So
it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. But I actually based on our feedback the last time though, if you I'd say it's always a good bet, if you have a tendency to be cold, bring a jacket or a sweater or something with you, as the temperature can vary wildly in these ballrooms. I have been in them when I've roasted, and I have been in them many times when I have frozen to death. So please do think ahead a little bit and bring something warm with you.
And that was feedback we got too, some temperature things along with the coffee.
Yeah, apparently the Ballroom of the Americas, there was an Arctic section, like the Club Cool.
Yes,
and then like
cost extra.
different parts of the where we were sitting was kind of toasty at times, as we were up close to the stage lights and all. So
for some reason we were all sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody, If anybody, we're also taking donations for new shoes for me, so that I don't lose my toes for 6 months like I did last time. So no, I'll definitely be wearing something more comfortable.
You put on some Crocs this time.
Yeah, there was a question up here from David. Where can we watch the past panels? You just search this YouTube channel for Retro Magic, and you'll find all of the panels that we could share from 2019.
Correct. There's actually even a complete playlist too, that if you start it, it will go through all of Retro Magic from start to finish, minus the ones that we were not allowed to publish afterwards. So,
right.
Todd, this is a question for you. Where will there be brookies again? Are there any left in your freezer?
There are some left. I should have gotten one. I should have defrosted. There are 2-year-old brookies in my freezer. They are
like a wedding cake.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at a couple different options. We always know
Jake
that
Peterman's going to bid on this.
Cake is always a something that we hold near and dear to our hearts in many different ways. So. Maybe a cake, maybe something, but yeah, we've got a lot of different ideas, a lot of work to do in this. But I'd like to see brookies again. But those were only part of the VIP again. So,
all right,
what else we got out there? Any other questions?
Yeah, I mean,
so you're saying you guys have this plan? This is 9 to 6.
Well, you know what happened last time is we did 9 to 5, and then we ran to like 6:15. So I'd rather build in some time. Well, we promise you a full day plus a meal. I mean, what more could you ask for?
That's insane for that. That's okay. I'm just making sure.
You know, what more could you ask for? You're going to get your money's worth. Right. I promise you.
Great.
But we're going to try to put some a little bit longer breaks in there too, and break it up, and coffee breaks and whatnot to make things move.
And then you've got the village to go, peruse.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to the village.
You're going to have plenty of time to sit there and meet your heroes.
Exactly.
Besides us, I mean, I'm talking about like Norma Newye and Peggy Ferris and Julie Swanson and some of these great folks that are coming. I'm curious. I'm watching the stuff here. There, anybody have any questions? Somebody asked about pie.
Thank you.
Pie is difficult to have at an event like this, but we're gonna have. The menu is still being worked on, but as you can imagine, I have many, many good ideas, and I'm not at all nervous about putting on a catered affair when you have some of the most legendary Disney chefs coming who might eat some of the food.
Eesh.
Because that won't be at all awkward if they don't like something and get up on stage and pull a Dick Nunis. In my day, we never would have served a sandwich like this. You can write the script.
All right, so probably we should just update some people on some other things that are going on. If you have other questions, start typing. We'll get back to them. We are working on some additional podcast episodes, bringing you some for the holiday season coming up. And we've had a lot of new media come in. We had a lot of individuals recently contact us and got some fantastic new U-matic tapes in, some new beta tapes. On JT, there's a lot of things in your wheel well there, man, your wheelhouse. I'll tell you, that's an inside joke, guys. That's why JT's laughing. But yeah, we've got a lot of different things. We're opening of Typhoon Lagoon, and we've got some other fantastic beta tapes I've been releasing. And I was talking to somebody who we know, gentleman is sending us a laser disc to transfer, so we've got that coming in. And so we do need to do another home movie night or video night, whatever we want to call it. Maybe we'll do a little bit of more of a video feature so we can show everybody what we've got. Some other great news. We do have some new individuals. Well, I shouldn't say new. They've been volunteering for a number of times. Matt and Gary, they're starting to help us out with the videos and doing the bumpers and different things that we need. And that's really important because it certainly streamlines the workflow and allows us to get this stuff out to you sooner, quicker, and better. So we're really looking forward to that. In fact, while I did it personally, I also did it for the Historical Society. I just had installed the other day a new fiber connection to my house that is super, super fast. So they'll be able to upload the video files and share with me much, much faster. And we'll be even doubling that speed connection come January and February. And we've got ourselves a multi-terabyte NAS drive to store all this information on. So I think we're up to something like 16 terabytes, gentlemen, of data at this point, which is amazing how much we've got. stored, and we might have to expand out to another drive soon. But the other thing I wanted to also too is thank everybody out there who donated for our Carousel of Pumpkin as well as the Season's Greeting Tower. I will say to you that for your donations and what you guys were able to do, it made a lot of this tonight possible and helps us be able to get things going ahead of time and work on putting down payments and getting the VIP's flights taken care of ahead of this announcement. So your donations go to make this possible and help supplement the afternoon and fabulous day that we're going to have together in April. So thank you very much for that. And as always, keep your eyes open for our next exciting announcement. So we'll be working on something in the new year for you too. So gentlemen, those are the announcements I can think of. Anything else before we get back to the questions?
I think you should pitch the Season's Greetings Tower for those people that may not have seen it.
That's a great idea. So yes, if you do not know what the Season's Greetings Tower is, I should have put a photo up here, but if you do head over to retroww.com,
I'll go get one.
There you go. That's even better. So we every year and every so often we're trying to do a holiday ornament. Last year we did Dino the Gertie, or Gertie the Dino, I should say, over at the Disney MGM. And this
Christmas
year,
the Merry, Todd.
Christmas the Merry. That's right. New Year the Happy. And we also did around Halloween. We did the Carousel of Progress pumpkin that sits on the table there next to the father in the 50s scene.
Here comes
and
Hal.
Here comes Hal. So this is our Season's Greetings Tower, and it says Season's Greetings on it in the MGM logo. Or what's that font called? Mr. Hal Bowers will know.
He doesn't have his headphones on yet.
Oh yeah. So
bonus points to anybody. What hat
now
size
he's got
is
the
that?
headphones on.
What hat size?
How they wanted to know what the font was on the Season's Greetings Tower.
Well, there's two.
Oh well, give us the 50-minute. Here we go. I just found the picture, so I'm going to bring one up here. This is from Brian's tree, I believe, right?
This is my tree, yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. So there's the Season's Greeting Tower. So Hal can probably tell us the history of each of the fonts, but
so your bottom font is Broadway incised, I think.
Okay.
Right.
And then the top one is interesting because the MGM part of it, you only ever saw the letters M, G, and M. So when I actually identified the font and gave it to Todd, he was like, "This can't be right," and I'm like, "No, I swear, this is the right one." You never see any but those two letters, so it's very strange.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to look that one up real quick because I don't remember the name of that one off the top of my head.
So if you did,
it's a cool ornament, Todd. I got mine, and it's sitting right on my desk at work. It looks awesome. It's just a perfect nice little holiday decoration.
Yeah.
If it's not on a tree or whatever.
Yeah, I've got mine here along with Gertie, and everybody's making fun of me at Dino the Gertie. Wonderful.
We decorated the tree yesterday, and the studio's tower is front and center. To the left is Gertie the Christmas dinosaur, and over top of it is Walt's plane. And down the bottom to the right of it is the ride vehicle, the imagination. Ride vehicle that we did.
You got one looking east, one looking west there.
Huh? Yeah. And then on the back side, I have RetroMagic's ornament. So it's all there.
Yep.
And I got the Mickey Jungle Cruise ornament from Hallmark last year up there too. So if you missed out on that one, that's a good one to get.
Oh, here we go. Maximilian.
There we go.
There we go.
So if you'd like to get that, head over to retroww.com, and right below, I think it's the second article on the page, you will see the link to purchase. You can also go to lbvhistory.org. So we'll drop that in the chat right now, so /donate. So that's lbvhistory.org/donate. So I'm putting that right in the
Preston asked if there will be a merch table with ornaments and best of shirt designs. Not shirt designs, but there will be ornaments and some other things that you'll be able to pick up there in person if you've neglected to pick them up ahead of time.
All of our shirts are actually print on demand, so we can't really print
those. Is this event going to include a gift like in the past? Nobody's asked, and I was just thinking that.
I think you said it wrong, JT.
I'm sorry.
Will this event include gifts?
That's
plural.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
The answer
The password.
If we had an 8-ball, we'd roll it over and it would say the answer is yes.
Okay. All right.
And then let's see. There was another question I thought here. Let's see here. I thought we said no. Somebody mentioned make sure we use enterprise drives in our NAS. We are using Seagate. Was it Red? Whatever it is, I forget it. But they are enterprise level.
Incidentally, everybody's going to be bringing their like Epcot books and posters and stuff for Norman Newye to sign, and I'm just bringing a Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am for him to sign.
I was just going to ask, guys,
can you bring a whole hood?
Signing? Is he able to sign something?
Yes.
He's cool with that.
He is coming to meet and greet. Yes.
So get your die-cast Trans Ams now because they're going to sell out. Get to eBay right now.
I can see JT lugging an entire hood into this into the.
I'll tell you, you're into gearhead realm here that gearheads don't know about. So it's a deep level of like that would be very cool, and people respect that. But that's a tall ask to get a hood into the Contemporary. It's a big hood with a hole in it, by the way.
Yeah. There's a thing about here about posters signed by the guests. That's potentially something we can do too, some posters, but we'll figure that all out. The merchandise and those different types of things we kind of figure out later. We got to get the ink to dry on contracts first. So there's a lot that goes on. And Ashley S., I saw your message up there that you appreciate all the effort that goes into this. It is a lot of work. So thank you very much for recognizing that. This is Brian, I think you would agree. This is a 6 to 8 month process, and it doesn't stop any day, pretty much.
With the 6 to 8 months so far, or the next 5 months left, because
it's a year.
This has been, we've been working on this since last fall. So
the gentlemen know they're in trouble when I get out the Excel spreadsheet with the timetables and color coded to who has to do what. That's when they know the stuff's really getting real, and we're pretty close to that. So.
Yeah,
we've had to repeat question. Are there any filming or photo restrictions at the event?
No, except when the guests request it. We did have a few panels last time where they specifically asked, and we have a good fan group that was very respectful and did not take photos of things they were asked not to take photos of, and didn't record sessions they were asked not to record. So, but generally, no. We're a historical society, a nonprofit. The whole purpose of doing this stuff is for people to learn about it and for it to be shared far and wide. So and you guys buying tickets and coming to the event makes it possible for us to do it.
Well said.
Right.
That's the last question that I have.
Well, we got people. There's now Western Digital versus Seagate hard drive thing happening going on. We're gonna
let you guys hash this one out here.
We're backed up. We learned our lesson on some other things in the past, but we're well backed up now. But yeah, JT actually has a 8 terabyte drive sitting in his safe or something somewhere in his house. So
it's in the freezer. You told me, right? Cold storage.
Storage. That's right.
I turned the dial way down. That was.
Make sure it's as cold as ice. So, well, thank you everybody who has already purchased tickets. I can see right here, there's 15, 20 of them all sitting in people's baskets right now, getting ready to check out. So we really appreciate everybody purchasing their tickets ahead of time and getting ready for the event. We're excited to put it on for you. So we will be back hopefully in a few weeks here with a video night. Maybe we can do that before we really get into the heavy hit of the holiday. So maybe mid-December, assuming everything's going well with everything we're working on. But
I'll answer a couple of questions here that have come in. Jake, our gold key seats in the front row. Some of them will be. It all depends on, somebody buys a table, they'll be front and center. But the gold key seats will be in the front rows. If you remember, we don't do row seating, we do by tables. So there'll be tables of 10, and there'll be a series of the front, 2 or 3 rows of tables closest front and center to the stage will be the gold key seats, and those will be reserved there for people with a different. Maybe we'll have the badge for them, Todd, like you did, the big gold key that they had to wear around their neck.
We'll do a gold key, yeah.
The other question,
I just want to add to Brian, And if you did purchase one of those, and you know, as the more people that purchase tickets in general may cause us to expand to a larger room, which might give us the option to add more seating or get more people to the front. So we'll see how things go and do our best to get everybody up as close as possible.
And Preston asked if more guests confirm, will it be posted? It will absolutely be posted. Every time we add a guest, we'll not only post it and promote it, we'll send an email to people who've already bought a ticket.
Yep.
To let them know about the additional guests. So
right. And by purchasing your ticket, as Brian mentioned, you do become part of our mailing list for the event. So send information about day of and directions and all that good stuff. You'll be hearing.
That all comes in, a week or two before the event. So
yep, exactly. All right. Anything we left out there, gentlemen?
I think that we've, milked this cow for all she's worth.
The number of viewers have
just
equaled the
keeping it
number
real
of tickets.
for Mini Moo. I'm giving you some Mini Moo love here.
That's right. Well, thanks to everybody for joining us this evening. Really appreciate it. As always, we appreciate your donations. We appreciate you guys coming to these events. Keeps us going, and we look forward to bringing you this and more. And as Brian pointed out, as we get new confirmations and new information, we'll let you guys know. And who knows, if we got another couple big reveals, we might have to cue up the music again. So I'm glad that everybody could join us this evening. And with that, I think that's it, gentlemen. And we'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you soon. And we'll talk to you on the next movie night. Until then, have a great evening. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye all.